Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 4 of the RLH Asia Cup Category 1 Championship. Tonight you join us at the Baku City Circuit here in the heart of Azerbaijan for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Of course, this is just a short 8-round calendar, and it's going to be very important where the drivers finish. Now we've got a McLaren leading us out of the pits. No, it looks like it's going to be a Williams, so we'll have a quick look at who that might be. It's going to be Sem leading us out, so we'll hop up to him. It looks like he's going straight out on the softs, so they're clearly the tyre of choice for now, so we will ride on board with him once we've completed the outlap. But yeah, we should be in for a fantastic race. Now this track is the second longest on the calendar at 6.003 kilometers long, which is 3.730 miles, making it the second longest track on the F1 calendar, second only to Spa-Francorchamps. Now, in 2016, it held its inaugural race as the European Grand Prix. From 2017 onwards, it has been the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now, this track is, of course, 20 turns, very long, and it is the track with the shortest run from the top grid position to the first corner, which I believe is only 40 metres. I may be wrong though. The lap record in the race is held by Charles Leclerc, which is a 1:49.0. That was 2019, and the lap record in qualifying was a 1:40.495. That was Valtteri Bottas. Now, this is the brainchild of Bernie Ecclestone in December 2013. And it was initially going to be held in 2015, but it got delayed till 2016. Now, it's quite close to the bay, but also we go past the castle. However, we're going to ride on board with Sem now as he heads towards turn 1. Here we go then, across the line we go, then heavy braking all the way over to the left. Into turn 1 we go, 90-degree left-hander. Then flat out again, using all of the track. Then into turn 2, another 90-degree left-hander onto the DRS straight. DRS activated very quickly. Trying to get the power down as much as possible as we head along the straight towards turn 3, which is once more a 90-degree left-hander. Here we go, it gets quite tight through here. You don't want to be going side by side. Then towards turn 4 now. Then a little bit of a straight as we open up towards turn 5. A leftwards kink as well. Into turn 5 we go though. Heavy braking, keeping it towards the left as we head towards turn 6. Through turn 6 we go, all the way up to the curb on the left-hand side. Now heading towards turn 7, that'll be the fastest sector 1 so far. Through turn 7, using as much of the track limits as possible. Then up towards the castle section of turns 8, 9, 10 and 11. Then through turn 12 we go onto this little curved straight which heads through turns 13 and 14. 13 there and 14 next. 14 was a big turn 15 here was a big subject of controversy because it's very easy to cut. Through turn 15 we go though, no controversy from Sem. Now into turn 16, the last braking zone on the track before opening it up all the way along the back straight. We're going to be seeing some extraordinary speeds here this evening, especially with the slipstream. So here we go, through the left-hander, then the right-hander, up towards the DRS line. Through turn 20 we go there. Now we're on the straight, the DRS is activated. Towards the line though, let's see what Sem can do. You can see it's very, very long, and it's going to be a 1:37.6. Quite fast there from the driver. We've got, it looks like Justice is here. His teammates just set a lap time with a 1:38.091. So a little bit behind Sem, who's sitting on provisional pole, but not too far behind. Nils Barsett there in third then with a 1:38.556. Also, those decimals the same as the caliber used by the British and US Armed Forces on their standard service rifle. However, you probably did not need to know that. Marcus Short there with a 1:37.9, just squeezing into the 1:37s. Here we go then, Justice is heading towards the line. He looks like he's on for quite a good lap time here in his Ferrari. Let's see whether he can beat his teammate. He's just going to have to get into the 1:37s here as Maurice gets a 1:37.772. And Justice squeezes ahead of his teammate with a 1:37.8, but it's going to be a 1:37.4 from QVR Campbell, putting him on provisional pole for now. We've got Simply Superman heading along the straight. Let's see what lap time this Racing Point can do. It looks like he's about to run out of fuel. His ERS has gone into emergency mode. As we hit the line, then it's going to be a 1:38.464. Just ahead of the two Red Bulls. LR Bjorn there, just behind his teammate. Now we've got Larkin heading towards the line in the other racing point. We've just seen Simply Superman make it across the line. Let's see what Larkin can do. He's the last of the two drivers, and it's going to be a 1:38.095, just 4 thousandths of a second slower than that's Just Call Me Bread. Here comes Lakitu though. Lakitu setting his lap time now, and across he goes. It's going to be a 1:37.88. Very, very close so far, and this could all change. Ola Bjorn has gone onto the hard tyres, but he has invalidated that lap time, which is unfortunate for him. Now we've got the two McLarens sitting 1 and 2. This could be very good, but we don't want to see a repeat of the two Red Bulls here at Baku, which you saw in real life where they collided along the straight, and Christian Horner was not a happy man. But yeah, this track only has a capacity of 18,500, which is much less than most tracks. It's a FIA Grade 1, whatever that means. It was obviously a Tilke track. Some may say that's a good thing, others not. But here comes QVR Campbell now. He'll probably be going back into the pits. As you can see, he's really not pushing this lap. He's low on fuel, and he's in ERS mode 0. Of course, you can only really do one lap due to the length of it. Yeah, not too much information on this track. It is, of course, a city circuit, so there's not too much you can do. It's like Monaco, but much faster, and a little bit more room for error, in my opinion. It's just a little bit wider, and we won't be riding on board with Dropye for the rest of the qualifying session due to the glitch, which is a bit of a shame. Now, yeah, everyone's already done their out laps, and I think Larkin looks like he might be going for another lap here. I'm not quite sure. He's just booted it up to ERS mode 4. No, he's going to go into the pits. And I think everyone is going to follow suit. So now we've just got to wait for the drivers to leave the pits. And there's only Sem actually out on track. And he's on an out lap. So we'll stay with the Williams driver and see what he can do this qualifying session. His teammate doesn't seem to be able to make it today. And it's a shame we've only got 14 drivers this evening. Hopefully we'll still get a fair amount of racing though. We'll just have to wait and see. Now let me get the championship standings up, because they're always really interesting, especially at this stage in the championship. This will be halfway, marking the halfway point of the Asia Cup. Now, I suppose you can just about call this the Asia Cup, even though I think Azerbaijan's technically in Europe. It's on the border though, so I think we'll let it pass. Azerbaijan actually, surprisingly, experiences a fair amount of earthquakes, although not extreme earthquakes. Bet you didn't know that. Or maybe you did. I probably said that before at some point. But yeah, we'll get a quick look up at the standings now, as we're already halfway through the race, and the qualifying session, because you can see just how quickly that lap time, the timing is going down on the left-hand side, and it's just the outlaps and the in-laps take so long around this track. However, this man here we are watching is the current championship leader on 53 points. He's 10 points ahead of QVR Campbell, the current pole sitter. But now we've got Sem going out on a hot lap. He's on the soft tyres. It looks like soft tyres are still the compound of choice. And of course, if you start on softs, you're not going to be able to go back. So yeah, definitely softs. I'm not sure what the tyre wear is looking like around here, but it can't be too bad. Now we have Lakitu in third place. He's only 1 point behind QVR Campbell, so we'll keep an eye out on that battle. Larkin on 33 points and Dropye on 25 points, just 1 point ahead of FVA Will G, who won't be racing tonight. That's Spaghetti Chips' teammate. Marcus Short on 19 points, Spaghetti Chips on 17, so we'll keep an eye out on that battle, see who goes where. Currently Marcus Short is ahead in the qualifying. We'll see if that translates through to the race though. QVR Sparholt has overtook Sims in Danger last race on 14 points to the Austrians 10. Eloise Maurice is on 8 points and tied with Justices, who's overtaken Bjorn, I think. Bjorn's on 4 points, Just Call Me Bread on 2, Simply Superman at 15th on 1, Niels Barster on 1 also. The rest of the drivers, Hudson Weichel, Dougie Falcon, Scuderius, Seb and LR Patrick, all without points so far. But yeah, we've gone through the halfway point of this evening. Of this evening's qualifying session, sorry. And we'll be ready to go, but it looks like Sem's up 0.7 of a second, so he could be on for pole here. We'll keep an eye out on that as he heads towards the line now. This could be quite interesting. We'll ride on board here with the driver. We can just about see his cockpit. The Williams cockpit, very unique because it doesn't have the dashboard on the actual wheel. And across the line he goes there. It's going to be a 1:37.1. giving pole position to the Williams. Now we've got QVR Campbell here. Let's see how he strikes back. His teammate is just one turn behind him. Let's see what they can do. Maybe Campbell trying to give Droppier a tow along the straight. That's where the Droppier can keep up though. It looks like that gap's slightly too big. However, you don't want to be slowed down by the dirty air through this track, although it is a very straight track, if you know what I mean. There's lots of just turns and then straights, turns and then straights. No true sequences of corners, in my opinion, apart from the castle section, which we're going through now. The others are more just either flat out or braking. I think this is probably the fastest track on the calendar. Now I know that the drivers are going to be running really low wings. And also, they're going to be trying to keep those wings attached to their cars. As I look closely, it looks like the M plate of this McLaren's missing. Yes, it is. So QVR Campbell's clearly had a bit of a knock somewhere on this outlap. And I suppose, yeah, it looks like he's going back in. However, Droppier is not. Droppier is up 3.36 seconds. That could put him quite high up. Let's see what we can do in this final sector. It's pretty much flat out through the majority of the final sector now as he heads through the left-right chicane of turns 18 and 19 through 20 towards the line, just trying to get a little bit of slipstream from his teammates as he flies across the line now, and it's going to be pole position there with a 1:37.1. Sem's going to have to strap on a new pair of tyres and try and have a retaliation at that, because that could be pole position for the driver. We've got Niels Barca here. He's currently up 1.3 seconds, I think. He's clearly had a bit of an issue somewhere else on the track. Marcus Short, though, he's up 0.36 seconds, only through Sector 1 as well. So let's see what he can do through Sectors 2 and 3. Just come out of the DRS zone now. It looks like he could be on for quite a good lap. He's still ahead of Spaghetti Chips, his championship rival. 2 points in it, I believe. So let's see what the Alfa Romeo driver can do. He's behind his teammate, Lakitu, but not too far behind, I don't think. No, there's only about 1.5, maybe 2 tenths between them as we head through the castle section. Now that castle does look very interesting. And of course, in real life, during the actual Grand Prix event, they have to asphalt over the castle section, because during the normal year, that section is actually cobbled. So yeah, they have to lay temporary tarmac over for the Grand Prix. And that does mean that you don't get the layers of rubber building in that section like you do during the season for most tracks, because of course most permanent tracks are in use throughout most of the year, which means they always have a decent level of rubber on them. However, these are public roads, but that section, which has to get tarmacked over every time, means there's no groove in it and that there's no rubberization of it. Now I'll see if the comments are up as Marcus Short peels into the pit lane. He was going to have to go for another lap at some point. This is an invalid lap there. And it looks like it's invalid for Droppier as well. So that's not gone too well for the driver, although he was probably on an in lap anyway, so he doesn't... I doubt he cares much for that. We've got Larkin heading along the straight now. He's got low ERS mode. We can see that in the bottom right. And it's going to have to go into 0. I think he might have overused his ERS slightly because he's gone into the pits. That might have been an in lap though. I'm not entirely sure. I'll get the comments up because for some reason I'm not being shown the comments on my screen, if there are any. Unless people just aren't commenting, which probably don't blame you. Sorry, I'll just mute that quickly because that probably is a little bit annoying. Pole time will be a 36.8. Oh no, people just haven't been commenting. Come on guys, let me know your prediction. It looks like it's going to be a Red Bull. Yes, it's going to be LR Bjorn actually who's going to be leading this final salvo of times. So far, the best lap is a 1:37.1. So you think 3 tenths quicker than Droppier's current time, 3.5 tenths at a push. We could see it. It's going to be hard though, and I wonder if we're going to be hit with rain, maybe even by the end of the session, because the clouds are very grey. We might have rain during the end of the race as well. I think we could be struck with rain towards the end of the race. Now we've got a. It's going to be Larkin who's going to be following LR Bjorn. So we'll hop down to him once Bjorn has done his lap. And let's just keep an eye on that bottom right. See which other drivers are heading out of the pits. We've got a McLaren along the straights now. It looks like he's going to go across the line. And that's going to be QVR Campbell, I think, to start the lap. So we'll head up to QVR Campbell. Then we'll head back down to these drivers. It's going to be a fastest final sector for the driver. So not too bad at all. And there's going to be a lot of ERS management around this track because it's got so many straights. You're always using as much lots of energy, and you can see down the bottom right, he can't have ERS mode 5 all the way around. In fact, he probably has to drop down to 3 at some point, so as you can see there, trying to recover some through the corners, then hopping back up to 5. So yeah, you can see how important ERS management is around this track. As we head up towards the next few turns then with the driver. Let's see what we can do. We've got, I think, a Williams there just pulling out of the way. Yes, it is. That will be Sem just moving out of the way for the McLaren driver. As, of course, he is on a hot lap, and you don't want to inhibit your other teammates. That's not very sportsmanlike. Well, not other teammates, but your rivals on track. Now, let's see what QVR Campbell can do. His current teammate is 3.5 tenths quicker. So he's got quite a fair amount of ground to make up. We'll have a look in the top right, though, as he heads through this final sector now. As he goes through the split, let's see how much he is up on his previous best lap time. He's up half a second. He could be on for provisional pole here as he heads along the straight. This is where it all matters. Did he get a good exit? Although I don't think he can lose as much as half a tenth. He's just going to have to be careful not to crash through there. Now, it is very easy to crash during the actual race. If you're on hard tyres or something and they get very worn, it's so easy to crash through turns 18 and 19. So the drivers are going to have to be very wary of that. I think we will probably end up with a safety car later this evening. But QVR Campbell there, not actually setting a lap time, I don't think, which is very interesting. Oh no, he did. He didn't get as much as he'd have liked, though. He's still in 5th. I don't think he improved in positions. He definitely improved in lap time, though. But we've got Ella Bjorn here, who is leading us along this lap. Where is he now? He's just heading through the bottom section of this circuit, and he's moving out of the way for Marcus Short. So we'll go up to Marcus Short, actually. Marcus Short is quite far behind his championship rival Spaghetti Chips. I'm not sure where, and that's both on track and on the leaderboards. Let's see what he can do, though. He's got a fair bit of ground. That looks like half a second almost he's going to have to make up to try and pip that Renault. And I know that the Renault driver has had about 15 minutes of practice this evening, having not practiced at all for the race until earlier. But you can see 213, 214 miles an hour along the straight. Fantastic stuff. And Marcus Short, I think he's going for a second flying lap, actually. That's going to hurt his tyres, as we've only got 10 seconds left. We'll have a quick look to see what's going on. I think we've got a Williams who's heading towards the time. Yeah, that's a faster Sector 2 so far. He's up 0.125 seconds. Drop day has finished. He's not going to be changing his lap time. Let's see what Sem can do. Sem's heading towards the line now. He's got a McLaren behind him. That will be QVR Campbell. Towards the line though, 205 miles an hour, 208, 9, 10. The DRS really helping, giving an extra nearly, about 8 miles an hour. And it's going to be pole position there for the Williams driver. Now let's have a look. QVR Campbell's gone into the pits. Who's out on the track? It looks like Niels Barser here. He's going to be heading towards the line. No, he's not. He's going to go into the pits. Now then, we've got, it looks like a Ferrari of Just Call Me Bread. Yes, it is. He's heading towards the line. But we've got the Alfa Romeo, in fact, in front of him. QVR Campbell has retired from the session. And it looks like Lakitu, I think, across the line, not setting a lap time there. So he's clearly invalidated or something like that. Just Call Me Bread across the line, and it doesn't look like he's going to improve position. Now then, we've got another driver. It looks like Larkin heading towards the line now. Then Spaghetti Chips is soon behind him. He's just overtaken Spaghetti Chips on track. Spaghetti Chips isn't going to be able to reclaim that position. We've got this Alfa Romeo here heading out of the bottom of the circuit, but it's going to be Marcus Short who's heading towards the line first. He's going to be using all of that ERS, using all of the juice in his tank, heading towards the line, pulling all the way up to the left, minimising the distance. He's going to overtake Just Call Me Bread. Now we go down to Lakitu. Lakitu just behind QVR Sparhole, using as much of that slipstream as possible. And yeah, you can see there that Marcus Short is just behind Spaghetti Chips, but there goes Lakitu. He's going to take 6th position, and that's going to bring an end to the qualifying session, apart from Simply Superman, who's going to go into the pits. Very, very tense end to the session there. That could have been very interesting. Just 0.004 of a second between Justice and Maurice. So yeah, definitely very, very close. Now we're going to have to wait for the Force India to go, Racing Point, sorry, to go back into its pit box. But yeah, extremely close qualifying session. That's very dramatic. And you can see the soft tyre has been the tyre of choice for the drivers. And I noticed that the top 11 separated by under a second. In fact, the top 12 separated by exactly a second. So So yes, very, very interesting. But that is going to bring an end to the qualifying session. And this is Larkin here, who qualified in 7th place in his racing points. So we should be in for a fantastic Grand Prix given by the qualifying session. Now then, the qualifying order is going to be Sem 12 2004, Drop Ye 518, Justice is 12, LOE Morris, QVR Campbell, Lakitu 886, Larkin 45, Spaghetti Chips, Marcus Short 17, Just Call Me Bread, Nils 9, Barca, LR Beyond 75, QVR Sparholt, Simply Superman 69, rounding off the grid. And you can see just how close some of these drivers are. As you can see, 4 thousandths of a second between Justice and Maurice, and just 11 thousandths of a second between Maurice and QVR Campbell. Just having a look through, it is really, really tight, especially those top 9 separated by less than 4/10 of a second. Turn 1 will be interesting, and we might be in for a safety car. Let's hope not, though. And we could actually have rain as well. That is something that tends to crop up at this track. Rain is always a danger here. And it is going to be raining. I don't know if anyone said about that, but yes, it is definitely raining. So it looks like light rain, intermediate conditions. I'm not sure how long this rain is going to last. That's definitely going to throw a little bit of spice into the mix for this evening. You can see the drivers taking longer than usual to adjust their setups. And that's probably actually why they were qualified on softs, thinking about it. Because, and maybe that might explain why we didn't see a 136 in qualifying. They might have been running slightly wet-oriented setups. But yeah, you can see, definitely raining. And that does make sense as to why they were all on soft tyres. So it was really a true qualifying shootout earlier on. However, the drivers are now beginning to get their setups finalised, and we can get on with tonight's Grand Prix. It'll be interesting to see how long this rain lasts. It might even be picking up, in fact. But yeah, Azerbaijan, known for its rain. Sem is confused as to why he got to pole position. Alright then, let's get ready to rumble. Position change is a go. Let's have a quick look at the tyres, actually, of the drivers. It's still going to be soft tyres, actually. So clearly the rain not heavy enough to dampen the drivers' spirits, if you see what I did there. We'll keep the lap map up for now. We'll probably get rid of it later on in the Grand Prix. Do let me know in the comments whether you want any specific telemetry up during the race, and I'll be sure to change it. 26 laps to go here. 26 laps of 6 kilometres, meaning we have a total race distance of, just give me 2 seconds, 156 odd kilometres to go. This should be quite interesting. Oh, more like 156.1 kilometres to go. So quite a lot of distance. Maurice has disconnected from the session, though. That is not a good start for the driver in 4th place. The two Mercedes separated by quite a fair distance on the left-hand side. I'm not sure how long this rain is going to last. You can see those that didn't start in the top 10 all going on to the mediums. So clearly, they don't think this rain is heavy enough or is going to stay. We'll have to see how that all plans out, because maybe the rain is going to pick up and mediums might not have been the best idea. Or maybe the rain's going to take even longer to pick up, and those softs will have to pit and then maybe even pit again, maybe put onto another set of slicks and then pit again onto wet compound tyres. I don't know, but these greasy conditions, slicks are not the ideal tyre. They're going to meet a lot of sliding, and we're going to have to keep an eye out for the drivers. This could be big news, as we've already got an incident on the qualifying lap, and that's the McLaren of Drop Ye. He's had a little bit of a spin on the exit of turn 15. So he's maybe going to be slightly embarrassed about that. I'm not entirely sure. He's got a little bit of ground to make up. It doesn't matter too much where you are during the formation lap. But yeah, as you can see, these greasy conditions are already proving quite difficult for the drivers. And especially through these 2 turns here. This fast right-lefter. Oh, left-hander, then a right-hander, slinging the cars through using all grip possible. It's going to be a bit more difficult in these wet conditions, so we'll have to keep an eye out on the drivers crashing, and that could lead to a safety car, which might be ideal for the drivers. Yeah, but this greasy greasy track condition is not ideal for the drivers. Maurice has rejoined. Hopefully he can get back in his car before the start of the Grand Prix. Here we go then, the 14 drivers lining up in their respective positions. 26 laps to go here for round 4 of the RLH Asia Cup, Category 1. Here we go. It will be once the drivers have all synced up. And that looks like a Mercedes who's absolutely gone for it. Maurice. Quite interesting there. I don't think we're expecting that. He's absolutely gone for it. But I think that might be connection issues. Hopefully that hasn't caused big issues to the other drivers. Maybe he needs to do his formation lap. I really don't understand what is going on. This is strange. Now it says we're already on lap 2. So I think the game thinks that Morris is still on his formation lap. This doesn't really make sense. Obviously Morris had connection issues during the formation lap, and that could explain what has happened here. But it is a big shame for the drivers if we're going to have a restart. Now this isn't the first time I've had issues on F1. In fact, it's the second time in about 2 weeks I've had issues on the F1 game. So it's a real shame. Maybe we'll have to have another lobby set up. Keeping an eye out on these drivers. It doesn't look like they're going anywhere for now. Maybe Morris's game thinks he's on a... No, Youssef, and hello, Justin. Yeah, it is a big shame. We've got a glitch. I think it's because of the connection of Morris, because he was disconnecting and connecting during the qualifying lap, the formation lap, and I think that is what's caused the problem here. Now, let's see if it makes his car line up. We'll just keep an eye out. It says we're already on lap 2, though, so this is not ideal conditions at all. Let's just wait and see where his car parks up. Alright then. Fastest lap of the race, a 5:21.9. Alright then, I think we're going to have to do a restart here because the game has, in fact, died. That's such a shame for the drivers. Hopefully we can get it all done and ready for later, but that's a huge shame. Hopefully we can... Oh, goodness me. Yeah, this isn't the first time either. This is the second time in 2 weeks or something that this has happened to me. Commentating. Maybe it's the curse of me. I don't know, but it always seems to be one issue or another when I commentate. Usually it's me not being able to log into the account. At least I could do it this time. But there's no race to commentate, so I suppose we'll just stick with Morris, because he's quite happy just going around the track all by himself. But yeah, we're definitely going to have a restart. I do apologise for this. It's not in the league's hands. It is not their fault. Hopefully, yeah, we're gonna have a restart. And Spaghetti Chips will hopefully just reset the lobby, and then we can have a custom grid, because you can't do custom grids on this game. Have the same weather conditions. Drivers have begun to leave. Yeah, Spaghetti Chips has left. Oh, and we're about to get going. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights are out, and away we go. How many of these drivers are actually racing? Because this can't be happening, really. Yeah, the drivers are leaving the session. And we'll just watch with this. We'll just watch the on-track action for now while we wait for the new lobby to be set up, as there's big contact there between Lakitu and Dropye. Yeah, and you can see a racing point of Simply Superman has mated with the wall. And in fact, that was Larkin actually mating with the wall. So yeah, we're going to have custom grid light rain start this evening. So that'll mean inters instead of softs. And we'll just await the next invitation to the lobby. But yeah, this is a big shame for the drivers. And hopefully we can get it sorted out as soon as possible and get back to racing ASAP. I know, it is a shame. The one thing to mention though, I don't know if any of you are R6 pairs, but your boy here, basically a pro. I think I should go Pro League because 3-0 against Meaty Marley, who's like a big YouTuber. And some other dude who's like Dom or something like that. But yeah, basically a pro. I don't think I killed any of them. In fact, I think I got a claymore on one. But yeah, I've been disconnected. So we are going to be restarting the lobby. And we can get back to racing as soon as possible. It is a big shame though. And hopefully you can stick with us. Hopefully this hasn't been taking too much of your time. And we will get the race restarted as soon as possible. Hopefully we don't have a 2-hour stream like I did last time. Because my legs get tired. I do stand up commentating. And when you're standing up for so long, and also I got a blister because I did this hike recently, and it's not the most comfortable thing to stand on. So, but yeah, we can hopefully get back to the action as soon as possible. Just keeping an eye out for the invitation. I've got that now, so I am going to join the session. And we can get back to the race as soon as possible, and it should be a fantastic race. Remember, we're having a wet start. So it's all to play for by the drivers. They're going to be setting up a custom grid as we speak. Equal performance, as you can see. Back in the bottom of the bottom, you can see the settings that we run the race on. So AI on 90%, I believe, is what they're meant to be run on. Dynamic weather, of course, damage is on full. We've got Parc Fermé rules, so hopefully people don't disobey them now that we've had to have the lobby restart. We've got safety car on, collisions on. Car setups obviously on full. Ghosting is on, I think, when you pause. Obviously rules and flags. Manual starts, because that's quite important actually. You don't want to bog down too much, so that's something on the drivers to sort out if they can't get good starts. Yeah, at least the drivers are agreeing not to change anything from qualifying. So hopefully no one cheats, but of course you can't really regulate that. Hopefully everyone gets in their cars now and we can get into the race as soon as possible. Hopefully they get rid of the qualifying, because we don't want to be doing qualifying again, which is the point of the custom grid. But yeah, fortunately there are custom grids in this game, which means when things like this happen, we can get back as soon as possible. Now I know this is delayed at about 10-15 minutes, but could be worse. At least the race hasn't been cancelled, which could have happened, or would have to sit through the whole ordeal again of qualifying then the race, which I'm sure the drivers would find really frustrating as well, because that would be a long time just in the driver's seat trying to drive a car, which of course is fun, but it can get quite tiring. But yeah, we're just awaiting the start of the session now. Do let me know your predictions for the finishing top 3, of course, because what better time to do it than now, and we can have a little bit of a discussion. If you have any questions, queries, or recommendations or anything like that, do let me know. Of course, no qualifying, custom grid. Weather is on custom, Parc Fermé rules are on, etc, etc. So yeah, do, if you have any questions, do put them down below in the or to the left of the screen, I think it is, depending on, or the right, depending on how you're watching. And we will have a little bit of a discussion if you want, but I don't think it's going to be too long at all now. We have got the custom grid being set up now, so we can get ready to rumble. I do have the qualifying order on the stream as well, if they need that. So of course that can be used to determine where everyone's starting. But yeah, this is of course just an 8-round calendar, and I know I say this every week, but that means all the points matter even more, and somehow we've ended up with 15 drivers. I'm pretty sure there are only 14 in the qualifying session. interesting. I think LR Patrick might have joined. So... we'll see. But yeah, we should get ready to go. You can see the drivers are beginning to ready up, so clearly ready. P1 Sem, P2 Justice, P3 Spag. Of course, Sem on pole. P3 for Spag. That's quite ambitious considering he's had hardly any practice, or so he told me. We'll have to see if that plays out. But yeah, Justice is in the Ferrari. He's doing pretty well. Now, the championship battle is something that's going to be quite interesting. Just sending out extra invitations. That's Spag there. He's just sending out extra invitations in case there's an issue. And we will get ready to go. Hopefully we don't have any more issues, but I'm going to touch wood. Because commentator's curse is a thing, and it's a thing that it seems to get me every week. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the standings again. I know we went through them earlier, but the prediction of Sem to win the race, of course, he's on pole position now. He's had 2 podiums. He's won 1 race so far this season. 10 points ahead of Campbell. Where was I? Oh, Campbell, sorry, not Campbell. Justice is in 12th. He's on 8 points. A podium could do lots of work for him there. That'll put him up to 36 points, which will put him right up currently, if no one else got any points. That'll put him up into 4th place. So that would be very beneficial for him. Of course, the other drivers are going to be scoring points as well, but we are getting our drivers readied up as well. Now, Spaghetti Chips, he's in 8th place. He's on 17 points. An extra 15 points for him would put him up into 32 points, which should put him in 5th place, I think. So, yeah, this could be quite interesting. That's a very interesting prediction. Let's see how true it becomes. Now, the damage to the wings, of course, can reduce downforce, as you can see in the bottom left there. That's quite an issue around this track. We saw that during the qualifying session, I think it was Campbell there, had damage to the front right end plate. And now the end plate's the easiest the end plate is the easiest sign of spotting damage to front wings. And it usually only happens when the wings are damaged relatively badly. So it's not like irrelevant damage where it's gone slightly paler green than it usually is. But I think it's usually around the yellow or orange mark that comes out. Of course, when there's a red front wing, it means that it isn't usually a front wing there. And of course, DRS failures can occur. But here we go, as we just load into the session now. Still raining, of course, raining a little bit heavier than it was earlier. And it's going to have to be an inters start, as opposed to the slicks and wet start that we were going to have before the issues struck us. Let me just hop back to the stream. And never mind. I think my phone is being a bit of a nuisance here, so I can't quite look at that. But we have got drivers beginning to ready up now. And we'll be ready to start in just a second. And you can hear in the background. And that information is false, because we know it was Valtteri Bottas or Kimi Räikkönen, one of the two, that actually has the record. And it's a 1:43.0, I believe. But here we go then. Let's just get our stuff ready for a fantastic Grand Prix. I know we were held for a little bit of time there, Spiral, but get back to the track. But yeah, we've got LR Patrick starting at the back there. I think he joined us. He probably couldn't make the qualifying session, but that does mean we've got an extra driver out on track. Hopefully it all works out this time. And we can be on for a good race because Baku in the wet. I mean, Baku proved in 2017 and 2018 it could be a fantastic race. However, we don't talk about not 16 and 19. 2020 though. Can't really comment on the luck of 2020 because it doesn't seem to be existent. However, we should be in for a fantastic race as usual. These drivers always put on an excellent show. And wet conditions on a street circuit, that's always going to be dramatic, to say the least. So we can get ready to go. You can see the drivers making their way into Sector 2 now. Warming up their tyres, as I said earlier. 156 kilometres to race before the checkered flag is waved this evening. Slight delay, and that's a crash already through the castle section. So that's not the first time we've seen a crash on the formation lap. We saw the crash earlier with Dropye, which was between turns 15 and 16 on the previous formation lap. However, we can get going again. The pole sitter is going to rejoin the queue. And all of the drivers appear to be on the intermediate tyres. Now, they are, of course, going to be the tyre of choice this evening. For now, anyway, we'll have to wait and see how the weather clears up, because I don't quite know what the forecast is looking like. And I can't check either, which is a bit of a shame. Maybe they'll add that to another game in the future, where you can have a look at the weather forecast of the session. I don't know. But yeah, we are in for rain for now at least. That could all change. We could go from wet to dry, which would be very, very interesting. And as everyone knows, wet conditions tend to neutralise the playing ground more than usual. However, I'm not sure if that really applies when the cars are already set to equal. It's all about the drivers this evening and what they can do. Here we go then, lining up on the straight. Remember, sorry, it's not 40 metres, it's 100 metres from pole position to turn 1, or 200 metres, sorry. As you can see on the right hand side there, more like 210 maybe. Not too far though, it's a very short run from pole position into turn 1. Anyway, here we go, it's worked this time, we're on lap 1. Ready to go for the RLH Category 1 Asia Cup Championship round 4 here at Baku. It's going to be 5 red lights are out and away we go. It's going to be a good start from the McLaren, it looks like, of Dropye. He's going to move to the inside of the Williams. Down the inside he goes into turn 1. The Williams round the outside, looks like he has more speed. Yes, he does. He can carry that through. QVR Campbell, though, side by side with Eloise Morris. Morris has got a very good exit there. Now we've got Dropye down the inside again of Sem. That could have been very, very risky into turns 3 and 4. I don't think that's going to be the ideal place to try and look for an overtake. It's not going to stop Dropye though, as he's side by side with the championship leader into turn 3. Let's see whether they make contact. No, they don't. And in fact, Sem's going to have to back off slightly so as to avoid the wall. And that's going to give Dropye the lead of the race through turn 4 then. And the lead of the race has already changed. You can see very neutral here. QVR Sparholt and Spaghetti Chips. Marcus Short has overtaken Smack. Smack's not had the greatest start. He's down 2 places. Sparholt, though, is up 4 places, so he's having a fantastic start. Someone else who hasn't had a good start, though, is Just Call Me Bread. He's down 5 places. He must have had a bit of an issue on the... he must have bogged down or something at the start, or maybe had a little bit more wheel spin than he bargained for. But yeah, you can see just how close these drivers are. Will we see any moves through the castle section? I should hope not. And it doesn't look like it. We've got the 2 Red Bulls in procession there. In fact, it looks like a procession because the cars have to travel so slowly through that section there. And obviously, front wing damage is going to be a major, major issue. So we'll keep an eye out on the pit stops that drivers have to make due to front wing changes. Through turn 15 we go then. And into turn 16. Now the straight is where we're going to see a lot of action. Skivjalt Svarhold, though, on Marcus Short. Not close enough to make a move. Elar Bjorn and his teammate Niels Barsa fighting it out on the track. Now we'll head up to Justices because it looks like he's not too far behind Sem, although Sem is absolutely pulling away now. Looks like he must have had a lot more power on the exit. Eloise Maurice versus QVR Campbell. They're going to be side by side as we head along the straight. Can the McLaren out-drag the Mercedes? It looks like it so far. As Dropye sets a faster snap. It's going to be a 1:57.5 and into turn 1. It looks like Campbell's got the position as we're just behind Larkin. Has made the... is trying to have a go, and look at that, Marcus Short on QVR Sparholt there. That's the fastest third sector of the Grand Prix as we see Lakitu down the inside of Larkin, the 2 championship rivals. fighting it out on the track as Lakitu pulls in behind Larkin. We could see a move here from Marcus Short, who's on an absolute rampage up the order, as is Kvyat Smahul into turn 3 though. There was a little bit of a sniff there from the other Alfa Romeo driver, and he's had a very, very poor exit there. Marcus Short sending it past, and Kvyat Smahul down the inside of Marcus Short. In fact, Marcus Short did not expect that, and it looks like the Mercedes has got yet another position. That's up into 7th place there, already up 6 places. Eloy Morris though is down 10, so he must have had some kind of issue. It looks like he must have, I don't know what's happened to him, but he's dropped down the order like a stone in not very much time. So I really don't know what's happened to Maurice, but he's still ahead of Just Call Me Bread. Maybe it doesn't look like he had any damage though, so maybe he had a spin, maybe hopefully avoiding contact with the wall, which would be very fortunate for him. Now then, we have the drivers along the straight, and there's going to be a virtual safety car, and I don't quite know why that is. That seems like an inexplicable virtual safety car. I really don't understand that at all. Now, we'll keep an eye out on the midfield, I think, because they're the closest. Waiting for the green flag to wave. Once again, we're going to have to keep an eye out for the restart. Drop there leading us along the straight then, waiting for the green flag. Yeah, I know, Vikel. Mark. Curse of the commenter, mate. I've just had a look now, and in the 4 minutes between you saying, well, Maurice is high up, he's dropped to almost last, which is a real shame. I really would like to know what happened there, but I would also like to know what the cause of the virtual safety car is, because it seems to have come out of absolutely nowhere. But we're going to go green again now, and it looks like Dropier was in a prime position to go green as he went through a turn. He couldn't really have lost too much time, but look how close Larkin is to the back of Kvyat Campbell. Kvyat Campbell's going to be trying to defend that position as there are yellow flags in sector 3, and that's the Red Bull of Just Call Me Bread there on the exit of turn 19, and that's going to be yeah, that's only yellows, so that hasn't brought out a virtual safety car. However, the other thing did. Now, yeah, Vikel, yeah, Sparhol is an absolute rampage. He's doing a fantastic job. Now, Sem is really catching up to Dropier. Sorry about leaving that battle, but this is the battle for the lead of the race. We're already on lap 3 of 26, obviously not making it 3 laps without a safety car or virtual safety car, of course. However, we are in for a little bit of action as we head through the castle section now. Let's see if there's any issues for the drivers. It doesn't look like it. And it will be interesting to see if the track dries up, how it dries up, and what level of greasiness is less greasy than is acceptable for the slick tyres. But yeah, you can see, although Sen dropped back to about a second behind him, he still managed to catch up, and it looks like he is struggling a little bit with the traction on his car, because Justice is really piling the pressure onto the back of this Williams. Now, this is the championship leader trying to reclaim that position from Dropier, and there's yellow flags in sector 2, and I think that might be Just Call Me Bread once again. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think that might be. No, it's not. In fact, that's the Red Bull of Niels, LR Bjorn, I think, having an issue there. Yellow flags in sector 2, and Bjorn has retired from the session. And there's yellow flags once again there. That's the fastest lap of the session for Lakitu, so maybe the track's drying up, or the wet line is being formed properly, or the dry line, sorry. As Lakitu and Larkin side by side into turn 2 we go. Down the inside goes Larkin on Lakitu. There's a bit of contact there, but Lakitu is just about going to pull away. And excuse my voice for that momentary break. And Larkin's going to have another crack down the inside, but Lakitu really late on the brakes. Is it going to be too late? No, it's not. And he's actually had a fantastic line through turn 3. And he's beginning to pull away again. And I don't think that's going to be the last we see of these two drivers. Always out for a good scrap on the track. Pretty much every week. Now, the prediction of Sem, Justice, and Spaghetti Chips. It's still viable as you have a slight amount of lag. Hopefully that's not on my end. We'll have to wait and see, though, how that all pans out. But yeah, we are definitely having a good race so far. It's very interesting to see how these drivers make their way around the track. Absolutely flying through this sector there, turns 13 and 14. Very, very risky to do. The turn 15 where the track limits could be explored to quite an extent has had a ban lift on it. Anyone who's caught cutting that turn will be hit with a penalty. But I do mention that Dropia is really pulling away from Sem. He has got the wet pace. That gap's already up to 1.5 seconds in the space of about a lap. So yeah, very, very quick there from the McLaren driver. And I say that he does a 1:52 dead, setting the fastest lap so far as Marcus Short overtakes Sparholt. Sparholt going into the pits already, so he must have some damage. And that's going to bring an end to his rampage up the order. Well, I think that must be damage. Let's have a quick look. And, oh, it's too late now. I think they've already carried out the pit stop. But that might have been damage. I don't really know. Maybe he's doing an early pit stop. However, I do think those inters can go a lot further. Or maybe the rain's beginning to relax a little bit. No, Sparholt's still on the inters. He's just ahead of his teammate Maurice. And Simply Superman now has made up the most positions so far out of all the drivers. Up 5 positions. We'll just get the gap up there. And you can see the gap to the leader. It's already a 60-second spread of the field. We're only 5 laps in, so you can really see how difficult this track can be and how much one mistake can cost you, as especially with these barriers in such close proximity, you want to be careful about having crashes. Now we'll keep an eye out on these two Mercedes because they are very, very close. They're really trying to battle it out, the Silver Arrows here. Let's see which one stays ahead. Will it be Morris or Sparholt? They had such good starts, but it's all fallen apart for now. However, we've got much of the race to go. We're only about a fifth of the way through. We've still got 80% of the Grand Prix before the checkered flag is waved, and they can try and regain those positions. Now, I mentioned that Justice has dropped to about 1.5 seconds behind Sem as well. Has dropped this. That's another fastest lap with a 1:52.597. But yeah, that gap is extending. It looks like it's really difficult to follow in these wet conditions. And we'll have a... I wonder how difficult it is. I mean, I tried to do a lap time earlier on the pads, and it was a 1:43, which is not very good, if I'll be honest with you. Compared to what the drivers were setting themselves. Yeah, much better than what I was even attempting. I don't even know how good the setup I was trying to use was. But anyway, here we go. Morris through turn 1 now. We'll head up to Lakito and Campbell because they seem to be quite close. Yes, they do indeed. That's just half a second between the drivers. And look how close Lakito is. That was a fantastic exit from him there. As we head into turn 6, I believe, here. Or 7, maybe. Bit of a roulette. Into 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. 8 there, 9 there, 10 there and 11 there. Followed by 12 on the left-hand side. Along the straight. We're going to keep an eye out on Lakito. Because on that long back straight, which is about 90, that last sector is about 95% or something full throttle. If not more. It could be, the slipstream could be what makes the difference between these two drivers, because look how well Lakito's following. Now, the dirty air, though, is going to reduce his downforce as we go through this sector here. These little left-right-hander. Yeah. You can see he's managed to keep it back, and you can see how much he's closing up. Using that slipstream, he's going to pull to the inside. Yes, he does, as we have fantastic cameras along here. Drop, yes, it's a fast lap of the race, but down the inside goes Lakito on the McLaren driver to take 4th position here in Azerbaijan. And now Larkin is going to be closing up like a shark in Baku. Can Kvyat Campbell try and hold on to those positions? Or is he going to lose them? He's already lost 1 this lap. Will it be 2? Let's see what Larkin can do. He's still over a second behind those. So he's still got a decent amount of time to make up. And Kvyat Campbell's going to try and keep up with Lakito. FOM? What about FOM? Has something happened to the stream? It doesn't look like it to me. Justin, if you could elaborate, maybe it's been taken down for you guys. I don't really know what's happened there. But yeah, Dropier really putting in a good lap. Stream was gone due to policy violations. What policy violations? Can't be that good at replicating the actual thing, can it? We've already seen that Dropier means licorice in Dutch. I didn't actually know that. Thank you. Thank you, Yusuf. So you can hear, however, the stream is black. Okay, so it's gone from bad to worse. I thought we couldn't have more technical issues, but we did. So it's going to be essentially a radio broadcast for you. Okay, then just let me know when it stops happening, and I'll return to normal commentary. But right now we have Lakitu followed by QVR Campbell, then Larkin. Larkin is a second behind Campbell, and Campbell is about 7/10 of a second behind Lakitu, and that gap is decreasing as we head along the straight at Baku. The McLaren driver trying to catch up to that Alfa Romeo, but the racing point of Larkin really presenting itself in the mirrors of that McLaren in the middle here of this battle. And I really apologise for an evening that is just not going to plan, but there's not really anything I can do about it. Right now, Larkin is catching up. That gap now down to just 7/10 of a second to QVR Campbell. Let's see what they can do as they head through the second sector now. This is the only battle on track. This is, of course, the battle for 4th place, so just out of the podium positions. And Lakitu is currently leading the battle. However, he's not pulling away, and that's going to present a real danger to him. I don't think he's got that position secured yet. However, the gap behind is about a second. You can see how the gap varies, or you probably can't see how the gap varies as we go through the circuit, because the gap's now up to over a second between all of the drivers. However, at the beginning of the lap, it was about half a second between them. So you can see the variation. That's probably due to the fact that they've got such long straights, and we have yellow flags in Sector 1. Let me have a quick look at the track map. I don't know what that is. I think it's been cleared. No, no, I don't know what the cause of that is. We'll keep up our track map, though, in case we see anything change. Now, okay. I don't know if this is going to end up being fully broadcast or not. But, FOM, you need to sort yourselves out, because this is ridiculous. This, I don't know what the cause of this is, but it's absolutely ridiculous. And